Welcome back to Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask, and we're still investigating Henry's office.
Time for more of the Emmy and Luke show.
Are we going to go through his porn files or something?
No.
Dweebs, always thinking that way.
Level 5 is a family entertainment company, Dweebs. Anyway.
Sure.
Rosetta Stone.
Cover is faded.
It says expedition log.
Well, remember, Job, I said they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Could this be the journal of one of the search parties that went out looking for Randall?
All right, this would definitely be useful information.
Turned up nothing.
Yep. Basically, all the search parties didn't find the body, even, which is why
there might be more information about the Mask of Chaos in here.
That's the main reason why Henry still believes Randall is still alive, because the body was never found.
There are some photos there are some photos stuck on the inside.
Do you think there's a clue in there?
I guess we'll have to solve a puzzle to find out.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We always do.
Goody, this
128.
Well, Dubs, as you yourself,
Pages.
as you yourself said in the first for the first game, that's the game, Luke.
Four spirit soldiers have been struck inside an old journal. They're faded and hard to make out, but they all say the same place. Seem to have been taken within a short space of time. In photo A, you can see a horse-drawn carriage travelling across the frame. Can you tell in which direction the carriage was headed?
So basically, it's a matter of looking at preachers and try to find out which order they belong. Basically, which one was taken first, which one was taken. You get the drill, right? What was the order?
I think I can figure out in time.
I sort of had a
and after you do that, so you can decide which direction he went particularly.
I think it was
West.
south.
I'm just guessing here. West.
Read again in case you need.
Basically, because I'm looking at the sun, and if I recall correctly, the sun rises from the east and goes down to the west, or it's the reverse. I forgot. Oh my god, that's basic knowledge. Ah!
All right.
We're going north.
I think I do. Yeah. Okay, let's take a hint. First, have a close look at the carriage. The horse is facing to the left, so it must be traveling from right to left through the picture. That's not enough information to work out the cardinal direction which he's traveling, though. Is there anything else in the photo that could help you with that? Something people would have used in olden times to work out their directions.
Stick a bit of a tree in the ground and watch the shadow.
By that logic, you might as well talk about the old Japanese traditions where you just take a stick, you put it on the ground, and then you let it fall, and that's the direction.
Shit! I missed what you pressed.
I was gonna say that.
South. So yeah,
Actually,
you did too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Correct.
He was heading south.
He's heading south.
A leaf has fallen from the left-hand tree between the times photo A and photo B were taken, so we can assume that the sun was setting. Since the sun sets in the west, the viewer must be east of the carriage, and the carriage is therefore traveling south. So basically, it's all a matter of perspective.
I wonder if the series ever had like a equivalent to the plates in Ace Attorney where one of the puzzle's answers is wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
what are you talking about?
Well, didn't we already have the Lost Future puzzle battle between Clive and Layton for that?
I've forgotten about that.
Shiro?
The fact that they're in this journal must mean they were taken during the search.
So by equivalent to points, you mean like a word specifically misleading. I see.
If it's really a record from the search for Randall, maybe there's something about the Mask of Chaos in there.
What about the Mask of Order? Is there a Mask of Order here?
Yes, there is. There are two masks.
Yeah, remember, it was in Henry's mention, but you got...
That could well be, Luke. Let's have a look.
So you have to remember that Dweebs' memory is, shall I put it in a polite way? Yeah, lacking. All right, I will. I'll search for the ruins of the lost. Actually, no, it's not Henry. So, Oh, yeah, you go, Teo, because it's one of the random searcher. Go
Our
ahead.
research on the ruins of the Lost Boy continues. We use the inn by the Oasis as our base of operations now. The ruins are a dark and ominous place, and no one would ever dream of going there without the enormous sum of money being offered as a reward. I've hardly been contributing out of the kindness of my own heart either.
Because I'm the warrior, I have no kindness.
I have monstrosity. We were only a handful of men to begin with, but now we're turning to a full-blown expedition team. So, wait. Men descending to the narrow pit by the oasis every day with the prospect of finding the boy and striking it rich. Wait! I think
No, I know where Randall went. He went to the terrain of Testament.
We had no luck so far,
Nah.
but that boy Henry the Door certainly has. The word is he struck gold down here. Pile of treasure big enough to make your eyes boggle.
Wait.
Yeah, that treasure we saw at the end of
Oh.
chapter 6.
Yeah, well, Randall struck something.
That's in fact, I've heard that's how he's been able to offer such a normal reward for finding his friend.
Exactly.
I don't.
Teo's brain is deep at work.
And so we press on, delving deeper and deeper into the ruins. Just recently, we found a strange room with 2 mysterious pedestals.
Foreshadowing.
This chamber seems to be the final room of this underground complex, and we have created a scaffold to connect it to the world above, but we can't go any further.
Because there's a puzzle that we can't crack. If only we had the...
Exactly.
I'll take one guess and say you have to use the masks to unlock it.
Oh, very good, Teo. Very good.
Unless we'll all grossly overlook something, our search for Randall Ascot is coming to an
And even if he was there, I think he's probably dead by now because of all the...
Yeah, no, yes, to it, but Henry wants to see the body for himself.
Don't you know, Dweebs, he just respawned to the next bonfire.
Yeah.
But anyway, basically, Dwebs.
Upon forgotten ruins, and perhaps one day Montedor will be forgotten too.
Basically, Dwebs, there are 2 masks, the Mask of Chaos and the Mask of Order, and according to legend, they both complement each other, and they both cancel out each other.
Simple.
Jira?
So they never found him. He mentions being based next to an oasis. So I suppose Montedor probably wasn't even a city yet.
Yep. Jesus.
Sorry.
Teo, the Great Deafener.
Well, wouldn't I be correct in saying that a city isn't a city in Britain unless it has a cathedral or something?
It depends.
Wow, you really have
Have Henry ever stopped looking for Randall?
That seems to be the general... That's what I've been told anyway.
I wouldn't know how things work in jolly old Britain, so...
I've heard of a lot of cities without a cathedral called a city
I
still.
don't think he ever stopped. Anyway, it looks as if we're about... it looks as if we're just about exhausted this journal.
Yeah, look what you done to the poor journal. It's tired.
It was it was already exhausted anyway, so...
So, have you 2 found anything?
Plenty, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, Professor. Look.
And then it turns out I already knew it.
Actually,
It's a
no.
log from an expedition that was searching
Or does he?
for Randall. We also found a journal that Henry has been keeping.
Actually, Pedro, for once, no, he doesn't know.
work. And I made a discovery of my own.
Basically, each one
See,
made their own discovery.
See, I can't get too further ahead of you a lot. That would be stupid.
Yes, one of the reasons why this is one of the better Layton scripts.
Is that the Mask of Chaos? But I thought someone stole it from Henry's study.
Remember, you're kind of supposed to be on the same page as Layton. If Layton's already gotten ahead of you, we're just playing catch-up, and that's not very fun.
Yeah, that is sort of a complaint people had with the first 2 games. To an extent, the third one, but the third one had more of a reason for it.
Does this mean Henry really was the masked gentleman all along?
Nah, that will be too easy.
Don't worry.
Again, I have sort of idea, but I don't want
all
to say
that about the
anything.
mask being stolen was just a lie?
There you go. So basically, the whole mask being stolen thing was just a lie.
Well, not exactly.
Or was it?
That's it.
Not quite.
But then why would Henry hide the mask here?
Because he's a greedy bastard.
To stop it from falling into
It wasn't him.
evil hands, I
It's
guess.
Okay, now you're contradicting yourself, Professor.
in the script. I'm just working off it here.
I'm confused.
Don't worry.
This is starting to sound like a Final Fantasy script all of a sudden.
Hang on. Is that actually the Mask of Order? The one the Masked Gentleman won?
We'll see.
We don't take ourselves that seriously, Luke. Right.
Zing.
see- I expected to find a replica of the Mask of Chaos here. A fake mask. Of course, that doesn't excuse convolution, no matter whether you take a story seriously or not, but regardless. But to my surprise, this turned out to be the Mask of Chaos. It seems that someone placed it here. But why? And why is the Masked Gentleman even aware of this?
Actually, and is the masked gentleman even aware of this?
I said that, didn't I?
No, you said, and why
You
is...
kind of misspoke there.
Yeah, you said why, even though it's not there.
Sorry. The answers are yet unclear, but I know there's a deep connection between these questions and the next miracle. I also found something else rather interesting.
Alright.
Wait, so I found more outside than you two found in this entire record room. Haha.
If you insist. Honestly, I think they may have found a bit equally to you.
What? Where is this supposed to mean?
B. Jesus
What does
Christ.
it say in the corner there? Is it
We're struggling at our
Montador?
own language.
Well, Shiroi's doing fine, and she has a lazy eye.
Doesn't look anything like
Yeah,
what
the
it does.
quality of the text is a lot better in the Layton videos compared to the Ace Attorney, and lazy is putting it mildly.
I think that's because it's always a white background with black text, so it's rather easy to
Oh
see.
no,
There's a rather
in
fascinating secret about Monte.
in the Ace Attorney videos, everything looks very washed out, but here I can read it perfectly.
Doesn't
Okay.
It probably has to do with the fact that your
Down
YouTube
rather
isn't allowing you to look at it HD. It's probably looking a bit blurry. Weird. You usually have
Yeah.
a good time with the Ace Attorney.
Not really.
videos.
I mean, my uploads are in 360p, the actual native resolution of the 3DS, so
Maybe
they're not in
that's
HD.
why. I mean, if you try to upscale it too much, then
No, I don't. I never upscale anything.
yeah, that's probably
the
why
video,
I can read this. Then
the video is in its native resolution as it is on the actual 3DS.
again, that's why I can probably read this as opposed to the Ace Attorney ones.
I never upscale
No,
anything
no,
because
no,
it's
no,
stupid
no.
to do so.
Before I share my thoughts with
Yeah.
you,
Upscaling
I'd like
with
to
the Ace
confirm my
Attorney
suspicion
still
by
keeps
finding
its
some more
natural
evidence.
resolution. And I've seen that actually cleans up the text. I mean, if you compare it to, like, say, 360 or 480, the text is the same, just actually looking more clear with
According to
720p.
Bloom, the Masked Gentleman is somewhere in this hotel.
So now it's time to look for the
really?
mask. So now
So
it's
now
time for
to play Cluedo.
yes.
Let's play Guess Who.
Mr. Mordaunt, are there any other rooms you may think... Are there any other rooms you think may be of more interest to us?
Actually, Professor, I just remembered that as something I was asked to hold on for you. And now it's time to play Where's Waldo?
If it's a bar, I'm
And
not interested.
well, at least we can safely say that it's not this guy because he's too short.
No,
And the
no.
nose would in no way fit behind that mask.
No.
Well,
Unless it's a fake
Shiroi,
one.
there's one thing, Shiroi, that you just reminded me. Don't forget, Shiroi, this is a universe when people can wear full costume disguises like Don Paulo, and as a result of that
Yeah,
shapeshift.
but Don Paulo is special.
Actually, Shiroi, remember,
Yeah.
in Last Spectre, Desclay did the same thing.
So someone new might be coming here?
So, yeah.
But they're the exceptions,
For all,
of course.
for all we know, that Layton is not the actual Layton, it's actually Desclay in disguise. Like Don Paulo was in disguise in the first... Anyway.
Anywho, going back to what I was saying about the resolution, but once you told me, sure, it sounds like your YouTube can't render in HD. That would be more the issue, because if it's in HD, if anything, it should look more clear.
I believe...
I believe the Masked Gentleman has left us a message.
Well,
Let's see what he has to say.
take it up with Amazon.
Alright, Joby, you're up. Basically, the Masked Gentleman left a book for us to read. There you go.
Alright. Once upon a time, in a small kingdom surrounded by woods, there were 5 children who were the best of friends.
Okay, is the Masked Gentleman Jeremy Irons from Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Prepare yourself, Tale, for a precursor
This
to the
book
tales of
begins.
to the 12 Tales of Wonder from Ninokuni.
Enjoying the beautiful land, fishing in streams and running over the grassy fields.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of that bit from MGS2. I'll say after this next bit.
Sure.
One day, they climbed the tallest hill in the kingdom. At the very top of the hill, they found a mound of treasure.
You know that 2.5 bit during one of the codec calls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's save it for after we're done this.
Reading the word brave adventurer, you may claim me. On a sign nearby, the friends took the treasure and divided it equally. 4 of them spent their share on items they wanted, but the 5th buried his in a beautiful place surrounded by green.
Because he was stupid.
That's your answer for everything, Professor.
Actually, Jova, you're supposed to be a Christian. There's actually a parable. What's the name? One of the things that
A
Christ
parallel.
kinda mimics this tale.
I know. Hey, I'll roll with it. Miss Boy knew that people change when they grow up, but the buried treasure would always be his link to the past. Roll credits if we were in that game. He returned from burying his treasure and fell asleep in a sunny spot by the window, completely content. Well, hey, we did do a Zelda dungeon earlier, so why not?
Tales of Zelda 2, where you can bury a weapon and after some year
The
you can find
end.
it completely.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
you know that Spy 2.5 thing that was mentioned? That actually got turned into an audio play in Japan.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Wait, what did?
We'll explain to you better, Shira, when you get to hear it in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, sure.
A kingdom surrounded by woods, 5 close friends, treasure. Luke, do you know this story?
I know about you, Teo, but I love
And
it.
don't say Peter Pan.
I don't know about you, Teo,
Yeah,
but I love.
I have a big book of fairy tales at home, but I don't remember this
Pedro.
one.
I love the Hino's fairy tales. They're always very simple, and there's a very simple charm to them.
Yeah.
Basically, Dwebs,
Story feels unfinished, though.
But-
It doesn't have a proper ending.
So Akina Hero was predicting Fant 4-stick?
you see
Dwibs, there are 5 children in this story, not 4.
Basically,
Yeah.
Dwebs, in Nino Kuni, there was also a similar thing about there being tales of wonder, which were basically fairy tales that expanded upon the lore of the game, basically.
Maybe an allegory of sorts, perhaps about the masked gentleman himself.
So, what's he trying to tell us?
A mystery. Look,
Oh?
What the
Ah!
shit?
and yet I can still see fine.
Who turned off the lights?
No, quick, use Emmy's jacket as a light. No doubt this is the masked gentleman's handiwork. He has been waiting for us. And this book is an invitation. He wishes us to go and find him.
And now it's time to finally confront the masked gentleman, mask to face.
Is it behind door number 1, number 2, or number 3?
But beware, because the other 2 doors that don't have the masked gentleman have a shark that will eat you.
Or
Jesus.
a tiger. Come now, we must still be able to stop his next miracle if we move quickly. And with Emmy as our torch, nothing will go wrong.
Ready when you are, Professor.
Yeah, I'm surprised that jacket isn't fluorescent.
I'm certain it is in this hotel somewhere. Perhaps the story can take a clue to his whereabouts. Let's see. The story ended as the boy fell asleep in a sunny spot by the window.
So...
Well, if he fell asleep, there must have been a place for him to lie down.
So...
Well, everywhere, this hotel looks deserted.
No, but I think she means the bed.
Yeah. And Emmy, stop copying my pose.
Oh, look! Oh,
Well, you
someone
didn't-
with a bed.
Well, if you remember the backstory, you did inspire her, Professor.
Yes, we should try searching in the guest rooms.
Much like Phoenix Wright inspired you.
The one we're looking for should
True.
receive a lot of sun. A room with a large south-facing window, perhaps.
I believe we have some rooms matching that description on the first floor. Would you care to see them?
Mordaunt, I'm over here. You're talking to Luke.
Alright, and this is one of my favorite themes in the game, the Reunion Inn theme.
That guy in the corner there looks like he's conducting the theme.
I love this theme
I know.
Basically, this theme is going to be playing up until we finish our confrontation with the Masked Gentleman, and I love this theme because it's very ominous and It really does a great job in setting up.
I can hear that.
It does a good job in setting up the atmosphere.
Frankie, my dear, you're almost as brave as a
They always have these endgame tracks as of the prequel trilogy. Granted, I guess technically, Lost Future started that trend.
Yeah. I set everything up perfectly, but you always find a way to mess things up. You're about as much use as a tennis ball made of jelly.
Depends. Has the jelly been in the freezer?
Boy, enough of that. We're looking for a good slap across the rashes.
Someone has turned Frankie into a pile of jelly!
Yeah,
No!
Now that fighting will help the situation. Oh! You bastard, you punched me in the eye. Huh?
Layton, what a pleasant, intrusion. Might I ask what you're doing here in my hotel room? Well...
I'm here to jump you, man. Shit, no,
That.
Yeah, who you think you are barging in on us like this? We've been kissing,
You're disrupting our business strategy session.
I'll see myself out.
How are we afford... whatever.
in that case, my apologies, gentlemen. By all means, continue.
Steam away.
Alright.
Oh,
While they're conversing, let's investigate. Don't bother reading that. I'm just busy.
I know.
I'm just
Well, I
looking.
know.
I'm just looking for hint coins.
Well, you'd be the one to read those anyway, so...
We paid perfectly dirty good money for this room. We can't just poke around in here. That's rude.
You didn't buy the room. You threw the occupants out.
We stole the money, fair and square. It's ours.
Like about asking us first? Not likely, mate.
Okay.
Now solve a fucking puzzle. You're gonna keep bothering me then? What do you want? Another battle of wits?
By all means.
Cue the puzzle bell.
And Layton is just there
Perhaps
smiling
another
the
time.
entire time.
I simply wish to search the room. We're investigating the masked gentleman.
Oh, of course, Layton. I should be delighted if you would rifle for my possessions.
Now, there's no need for sarcasm.
Well, I suppose I could allow it, but only if you solve my puzzle.
Of course.
Oh, well, you might as well just let us search the room in that case.
What's wrong with a good arm wrestling match?
Remember,
The
Professor.
cards in this...
Layton, you're a gentleman. You can't arm wrestle.
But Sherlock Holmes can wrestle in the 2009 movie, and he's a gentleman.
Sorry, Layton.
Yes,
We've already
yes,
got a
Professor, but
Sherlock
we're
Holmes for
going-
this universe
but-
to do that sort of stuff.
But we're going for the, was it 1960s? Or 70s? 1960s? The old incarnation, basically.
And to be fair, Pedro, even the old incarnation eventually had a few fist fights here and there. I mean, heck, that's what the Robert Downey Jr. one is based off
Okay,
of. Well,
fine. Allow
it's
me
technically a
to.
mix.
Oh, fine. Allow me to rephrase then. The most typical interpretation of the character we see in media, basically.
Really?
Cartons.
Yeah, it depends. But
Lose the
I'll
soul.
just leave it at that.
The soul loses B.
Basically, I
Just a dash of
yeah, but it's a pretty simple deduction puzzle. I'm sorry if I didn't read it, but basically, audience, just pause the video if you want to solve the puzzle for yourself.
Jesus, that looks scary without a nose.
Alright, it was C. He was lamenting his bad luck. If he had had a few more draws. And yes, he looks awfully like a girl, actually.
Floating Gazel.
So it's like Nino Kuni's 2's protagonist. Well, I'm impressed. You actually solved it.
Then I think I shall have no objection to our searching this room.
Well, no, I'm not Phoenix Wright, so no.
Nice one, Nark. That was one of your perfect plans, was it?
I swear to God, Frankie, one of these days. Stick a suck in it, Frankie. Of course you may search the room, Layton. There's nothing left in here anyway.
Yeah, after we stole it. After we borrowed it.
And then and then the next day, Narcisse kills Frankie in his sleep.
Yeah, thank you. It won't be long. Yes, that's because all we told me to know about the Force and waking people up from the dead.
Actually, Pedro, he's not going to kill him, but he's going to make him be the one who has to wear the outfit.
All right.
And there will be no safe word between
All right.
them
So
next
we're looking
time.
for another book. So where could it be?
The vase. You just look there.
Oh, look, we found a hint coin behind the vase.
Yay!
And
Let's see what's in the jar. I think I do see the jar, don't I?
Is there whiskey in the jar?
I mean, the whole room sparkles of attention to detail.
It'll be Mom.
Well-
I'll be on my best behavior sitting on that sofa.
Well, it is a level 5 background.
Professor, there was a book hidden in behind the frame.
There we go. So basically, we're playing a game of clues and trying to find out various clues to the masked gentleman's whereabouts.
So the beautiful place surrounded by green was the picture frame in this room.
Yeah, this room is green, so...
What a complicated way to give directions.
Luke, remember what series we're in?
I want to know
Remember,
what the
Professor,
book says.
chronologically, this is only our second adventure.
Remember, we're filming them.
Hey, Dwez, you see this? The masked gentleman is laughing his ass off while Layton does all this. Go ahead,
Once
Java.
upon a time, there was a young boy who came across an injured wild dog and took him in.
Then the dog bit him on the arse.
Jesus.
As the dog healed, he learned to trust the boy and slowly forget his wild ways. In the following
If only it
months,
were that easy.
the two grew up together, and never spent a day apart.
Jesus Christ, Master. Will you
And
can't
then
stick to
the
your
dog
story?
died.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
The boy had to leave the village to pursue his dream of becoming a scholar. The boy entrusted the dog to his family, knowing he would protect them.
Let me guess. It all went wrong.
But everything changed
It's a
when the
it's,
fire nature
well,
attacked.
Dwez, it's a fairy tale.
As the boy departed in his cart, the dog howled. He was sad to see the boy go.
Wait,
The
is
boy
this an
howls.
episode of Futurama?
The boy grew into a fine young man and became a famous scholar.
Are you sure this isn't my biography?
When he finally returned home, he was eager to show his family and his dog what he had made of himself. But when he arrived, he found his house empty.
Really? His parents didn't tell him anything?
The young man, now fully grown, asked a passerby what had happened.
Just establish that.
They moved away and didn't tell you.
The helpful stranger told him that the family who lived in the house had been chased out years ago by a wild dog. That's when the young man realized.
Yeah.
When without control, beasts go wild?
He had been betrayed by the ones he trusted most. He had no home to return to, and his family were gone.
And you say my stories end in a really twisted way.
Oh, come on, Dweeb.
Well, the thing is, the dog only liked you. What did you expect when you decided to leave it behind?
With grief weighing
You
heavy on his
moron!
heart, the young man disappeared into the woods, never to be seen again.
And
Well,
not to
that's
mention
depressing.
Emily Blunt and Johnny Depp and songs.
The end.
Surely you guys can see where the story is leading us towards.
Hey, tell you, I'm seeing it right now. A children's book of fairy tales written by Akihiro Hino. Fairy tales to traumatize your kids.
No,
Well,
we
it would be very
already,
old school in that regard.
Well, yeah.
we already
Yeah.
had Pedro. We already have Grizzly Tales for that.
But-
An allegory, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it means.
With Nino Kuni and...
Not to mention,
w-
Brothers Gibb were doing that way before Akira Hino.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying that...
And don't even get me started on the writer of Little Mermaid or the writer of
German
Pinocchio.
storytellers were
Young
hardcore.
lad disappears.
But I'm
And
saying-
let's talk about the author of Pinocchio, who specifically made that story to scare kids into behaving.
I know.
Mr. Wardard,
Yes.
are there any rooms here with a lot of plants in them?
I know about that. It's just that you don't see this kind of stuff in video games often at all. So
Really? I see it quite a bit here and there.
I don't.
fairy tales in very classic style fairy tales in video games. Tell me one.
It's more so that they use
Well,
allegories
Pedro,
for them.
more than classic fairy tales, it's more metaphors from that. For example,
Exactly.
Resonance of Fate. that you play,
That's
that-
metaphors
and
though. I mean an actual fairy tale with beginning, middle, and end.
They practically use the fairy tales, they just use
you're
inserts to
telling
parallel to that.
stories told as fairy. I thought
Yeah, stuff like the
classical fairy tales
yeah,
straight in video
stuff like the
games.
Tales of Wonder. Actual original fairy tales made specifically for the game. That's what I mean.
Okay.
I see stuff like that a lot, but as for the games focusing on them that much, I guess you could say level 5 focuses on more of them.
Is that man wearing a glove on his head?
No, that's just a wonderful hairdo he has, courtesy
it's
of
basically
the
a set
Layton's
of
Britain.
cut off dreadlocks, Dweebs.
That's very
It's a common haircut.
There you go, Dwebs. Layton,
That's you.
see, Dwebs, Layton likes it.
Ah, you keep birds here too.
Yeah,
in your
maybe a
hair.
baby chocobo.
Hey, you keep birds in your hair.
Absolutely not. They might scatter air and guarding a bird in your hair. Birds shit, you know. Guarding a hair. No moron will ever create a character that guards a bird in his hat. That would be just stupid.
Yeah, that's something
in a
that has
Pokemon.
been done a lot of times. Granted, it can be done
More
right.
sad about poor Saz.
So it
Yeah.
is. That must be the book we're looking for. We might have a hard time catching the bird, though. Wherever she is. Oh, you mean the flying bird?
Yeah.
Not the...
Now give me the bird, gladly.
Leave it to me, Professor. I'll just speak to the bird and ask her to give it up.
You know, Luke, when you say it
All
out
right.
loud, it makes you look rather
Probably,
stupid.
I may probably have already asked this question, but is it revealed in Last Spectre why Luke's able to talk to animals?
Basically, it's a family thing. It's sort of a thing it's an ability that he inherited from his father. It's been a long-running family power of sorts.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, then let's just rip this off and leave it at that.
Okay.
See you, everybody.
Well,
I guess
see
see you
you
for the
next
next
time.
part.
See you, everybody.